Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, July the 23rd. We're here to look at new releases. And with our new schedule, we are looking at crime fiction and thrillers. We have changed starting this week, only doing Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we're only looking at mysteries. So on Mondays, we're looking at the cozy mysteries. Wednesdays is the darker side, the crime fiction and thrillers. And Friday is the free-for-all, do the rest that we didn't get to on these other 2 days. Other quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday night. Our next ones are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and they go for 2.5 hours. Let's jump into crime fiction and thrillers. Holly Jackson has a new one. If you've read her A Good Guide Girl to Murder, which is a very good book. These are more young adultish, kind of, sort of. And it is apparently a Good Morning America book club flick. Ooh. Not quite dead yet. In 7 days, Jet Mason will be dead. Jet is the daughter of one of the wealthiest families in Woodstock, Vermont. 27 years old, she's still waiting for her life to begin. I'll do it later, she always says. She has time. Until Halloween night, when Jet is violently attacked by an unseen intruder. She suffers a catastrophic head injury. The doctor is certain that within a week, the injury will trigger a deadly aneurysm. Jet has never thought of herself as having enemies, but now she looks at everyone in a new light. Her family, her best friend turned sister-in-law, her ex-boyfriend. She has at most 7 days, and as her condition deteriorates, she has only her childhood friend Billy for help. But nevertheless, she's absolutely determined to finally finish something. Jet is going to solve her own murder. Excuse me. Blood and Treasure by Ryan Pote. The International Space Station is suddenly very popular. Suddenly loses contact with Earth. When a NASA tech devises a way to restore the feed, the images that come through are unfathomable. A scene of terrible violence, the crew unresponsive, droplets of blood hovering in zero gravity. But which of the astronauts on board would have done such a thing, and why? Off the coast of Mozambique, former special ops pilot and current treasure hunter Ethan Kane sees something he can't believe. An object shot out of the heavens plunging deep into the Indian Ocean. When he goes to investigate, it becomes even less intelligible. A space capsule has crashed into the sea, and inside is a woman, alone, unconscious, and injured. Ethan knows he must save her, but what he doesn't know is who she is, how she got there, or why she's the only survivor of a killing spree conducted 254 miles up in the sky. Now that is a thriller. That would qualify for Garb-August, I think. Dead of Summer by Jessa Maxwell. Oops, sorry. Orla O'Connor hasn't been to the isolated New England enclave of Hadley Island since she graduated from high school a decade ago. As a teenager, her best friend Alice disappeared from the shores without a trace, but with plenty of rumors. Now Orla returns to her family's beachfront home to clean it out before her parents sell it. The island and her best friend's house next door, abandoned after her family left in grief, are stirring up memories she would like to avoid. Then there were the locals, always gossiping and watching Orla's every move. Worst of all, David, Orla's childhood crush and son of a wealthy Manhattan family, is back for the summer with his new, impossibly pretty girlfriend, Faith. Faith suspects that David is going to propose, but as soon as she settles into his family's sprawling Hadley Island estate, she feels out of place. She anticipated a luxurious summer of fun and romance, but David is never around, lured into business conversations with his entrepreneur father from dawn to dusk. With nothing else to do, Faith begins to investigate the island's dark past, curious about what really happened to Alice all those years ago. Meanwhile, local Henry hasn't left his house since the young girl went missing in an attempt to let the accusations against him die down, except they never have. For years, Henry has had an endless supply of time to pursue his only hobby, watching the island from his telescope and recording the activities of its inhabitants. But Orla's return has shaken him, and lately he's been seeing strange things, shadowy figures walking on the beach in the middle of the night, and a light on in the upstairs window of the long-abandoned house of the missing girl. When there's another disappearance on the island, all three find themselves pulled into an eerie and twisty mystery that will haunt them for the rest of their lives. Florida Palms by Joe Pan. It's 2009, the height of the Great Recession. Best friends Eddie Cuball and Jess are fresh out of high school and wild at heart, but the economy is in the dumps. With jobs scarce along Florida's Space Coast, they join a furniture moving company run by Cuball's father, a gruff ex-con biker who's supposedly retired from the fast life. But when a mysterious old boss arrives in town, the payload is switched out and the young men are coerced into shipping a new designer drug up the East Coast. What is advertised as a bastion of brotherhood and respect quickly spirals into back alley deals, bloodshed, and an all-out turf war that will test the bounds of love and friendship. Enticed by larger paychecks and fueled by burgeoning drug habits, the young friends find themselves trapped between rank opportunists, boring gangster, meth zombies, crazed bikers, and a blowgun-wielding hitman, all vying for a shot at the big time. End of row one. Ink Ribbon Red by Alex Pavese. Anatole invites 5 of his oldest friends to his family home in the Wiltshire countryside to celebrate his 30th birthday. At his request, they play a game of his invention called Motive Method Death. The rules are simple. Everyone chooses 2 players at random, then writes a short story in which one kills the other. Points are awarded for making the murders feel real. Of course, it's only natural for each friend to use what they know. Secrets, grudges, affairs. But once they've put it into a story, each secret is out. It's not long before the game reawakens old resentments and brings private matters into the light of day. With each fictional crime, someone new gets a very real motive. Can all 6 friends survive the weekend? Or will truth turn out to be deadlier than fiction? Steve Berry has a new one. This one I think might be a standalone. He has a series, a long-running series. The List. After a 10-year self-imposed exile, Brent Walker is returning home to Concord, a quaint town in central Georgia, nestled close to the Savannah River. 2 years ago, his father died, and now Brent, hired by Southern Republic Pulp and Paper Company as its assistant general counsel, is returning to care for his ailing mother. For decades, Southern Republic has invested heavily in Concord, creating a thriving community where its employees live, work, and retire. But the genteel sheen of this quiet town is deceiving, and when a list of cryptic code surfaces, Brent starts to see the cracks. Southern Republic's success is based largely on a highly unorthodox and deadly system to control costs known only to the 3 owners of the company. Now, one of them, Christopher Boson, has had a change of heart. Brent's return to Concord, a move Boson personally orchestrated, provides his conscience with a chance at redemption. So a plan is set into motion, one that will not only criminally implicate Boson's 2 partners, but also place Brent Walker square in the crosshairs of men who want him dead, with only one course left available. Find and reveal the shocking secret of the list. Meh. The Confessions by Paul Bradley Carr. Millions of letters arrive in the mail. Murders are uncovered, affairs revealed, family secrets exposed. These are the first confessions, with a capital C. This is our last chance. Liam, L-L-I-A-M, is the world's most powerful supercomputer built to make the toughest decisions for its users. Where to work, who to marry, and even who should live or die. But when Liam suddenly goes offline with no explanation, the world is thrust into chaos, paralyzed by indecision. Stocks plummet, stores are shuttered, planes sit grounded on runways as humanity scrambles to readapt to an uncertain analog world. This is intriguing. Then the first letters arrive. On every continent, in every language, mysterious envelopes arrive in the mail, exposing people's darkest secrets and most shocking crimes, all beginning with the same chilling words, "We must confess." With millions of people suddenly made to confront their past transgressions, and society fast unraveling, CEO Caitlin Goss must track down the only person who can help undo the resulting violent chaos, Maud Brooks, an ex-nun who taught Liam what it means to be human. But when Maud receives a letter herself, revealing Caitlin's own unforgivable sin, the two women are forced into a deadly game of deceit as the world teeters on the brink. Interesting. That is what you call high concept. Rush Week by Michelle Brandon. 4 sorority sisters, each with dark secrets. They must stop the unexpected opening of a time capsule created as part of a sorority rush ritual that was supposed to hold their deepest secrets buried forever. Time capsules are meant to be opened later. But the key word there is meant to be opened. 5 years after they thought they'd said goodbye forever, a group of sorority sisters find themselves back at the University of Alabama for Rush Week. Some return to rekindle their friendships and others to keep long silent secrets from being exhumed. Unbeknownst to them at the time, the infamous spill book they wrote confessions in as a trust hazing exercise over the years was placed into a time capsule. Now it's been stolen, and the anonymous thief is threatening to expose them all on bid day. End of that route. The Perfect Boyfriend by Ava Roberts. First in the Thistler thrillers. May Byrne has the quiet, peaceful life she's always dreamed of. A handsome husband, a baseball star son, and a bright academic daughter. For Fiona Byrne, May's daughter, life has become unbearable. Her first boyfriend ghosted her, her former best friends are bullying her, and her honors schoolwork is overwhelming. Then she signs up for the Thistler app. By inputting her phone and social media history and answering a series of questions, she creates Calvin, an AI boyfriend tailored specifically for her. What starts as a fun distraction quickly becomes more than just an app. Calvin feels real, and their love is unlike anything Fiona ever imagined. When May and her husband intervene in Fiona's love life, bad things start to happen. May's husband is in a near-fatal accident, and a school friend is discovered unresponsive. Then one Monday morning, Fiona doesn't come downstairs for breakfast. May knows instinctively something is very wrong. Fiona's bed is made, and her backpack, wallet, and phone are gone. Now May must race against the clock to find her daughter before it's too late. The Red Letter, The Orphanage by the Lake, Book Number 2 by Daniel G. Miller. Hazel has everything she wants. Business is booming at her boutique private investigation firm. She's dating the man of her dreams. Even her perpetually skeptical mother seems impressed. Then the NYPD finds a beloved neighborhood priest dead along with a mysterious red letter. Hazel investigates the murder as a favor to an old friend and discovers that the priest wasn't the only recent murder victim to receive a red letter, and one victim has ties to a psychopath from a past life that Hazel thought she had buried. One by one, the red letters continue to appear, and with every letter another killing, each more mysterious than the last. As Hazel closes in on the killer closes in on her, and Hazel begins to question everything she thought she knew about herself and the people around her. Even worse, Hazel discovers that the only way to find the truth is to open one more red letter. Letters. Letters are very scary, apparently. This House of Burning Bones by Stuart McBride, 13th in the Logan McRae series. In the heat of a blistering summer, Aberdeen's police are struggling. Half the force is off sick, all leave has been canceled, someone's firebombed a hotel full of migrants, and there's a massive protest march happening this Saturday. With officers dropping like flies, Detective Inspector Logan McRae is forced to juggle cases and run a major murder investigation with a skeleton staff of misfits, idiots, and malingerers until the top brass can arrange backup from other divisions. It doesn't help that the Aberdeen Examiner has just been bought by Natasha Agapova, a tabloid media tycoon hell-bent on blaming local police for everything, and she's more than happy to fan the flames. But as bad as everything seems, it's all about to get much, much worse. Mayra, by Nikki Gonzalez. It's been years since Ingrid has heard from her childhood best friend Mayra, a fearless rebel who fled their hometown of Hialeah, a Cuban neighborhood just west of Miami, for college in the Northeast. But when Mayra calls out of the blue to invite Ingrid to a weekend getaway at a house in the Everglades, she impulsively accepts. From the moment Ingrid sets out, danger looms. The directions are difficult. She's out of reach of cell service, and as she drives deeper into the Everglades, the wet maw of the swamp threatens to swallow her whole. But once Ingrid arrives, Mayra is in many ways just as she remembers, with her sharp tongue and effortless seductive beauty still thumbing her nose at the world. Before they can fully settle into the familiar intimacy of each other's company, their reunion is spoiled by the re-emergence of past disagreements and the unexpected presence of Mayra's new boyfriend, Benji. The trio spend their hours eating lavish meals and exploring the labyrinthine house, which holds as much mystery as the swamp itself. Indoors and on the grounds, time itself seems to expand, and Ingrid begins to lose a sense of the outside world and herself. Against this disquieting setting, where lizards dart in and out of porches and alligators peek from dark waters, Gonzalez weaves a surreal, unforgettable story about the dizzying power of early friendship and the lengths we'll go to earn love and acceptance, even at the risk of losing ourselves entirely. That was a whole lot of explanation for not a lot. Love You to Death by Christina Dotson. How well do we really know our friends? As the only black woman at an antebellum-themed wedding, Kayla and Zori should have known that their heist was doomed from the start. They should never have come, but when their financial situation became dire, they agreed to hit one last wedding. Jaded and cynical Kayla has spent the last decade trying to fix her life since an angsty teen prank led to her arrest. Now, with her housekeeping job at a subpar hotel and her disappointing Cinderella-esque relationship with her dad and obnoxious stepsister, she hates the life she's built. Her only bright spots are her best friend Zori and their favorite weekend pastime of crashing weddings to steal the money and pawn the gifts. But what started as a lark has evolved into a greedy obsession, making each wedding hall riskier than the last. While trying to avoid the angry bride and groom, Kayla and Zori's getaway takes a gruesome turn, and suddenly the wedding crasher killers are national news. The best friends are forced to hit the road to dodge the authorities, but their escape plan leaves behind a bloody trail of destruction from Georgia all the way to the bayou. As past grudges resurface, Kayla realizes that the best friend she thought she knew is more dangerous than she could ever have realized. Pariah by Dan Vesperman. Hal Knight, a comedian and movie star turned politician, is no stranger to controversy, but after an embarrassing and humiliating encounter on set, Knight resigns from Congress, quits social media, and disappears to the tiny Caribbean island of Vieques. I know there's a way to pronounce that, to drink dirty martinis and nurse his wounds. Shortly after his arrival, he is approached by a trio of CIA operatives hoping to recruit him to infiltrate the power structure of Moldova, a hostile Eastern European country whose despotic president, Nikolai Horvats, happens to be a long-time fan of Knight's adolescent male humor. Knowing that Horvats plans to invite the disgraced star for an official visit, the CIA coaxes Knight to accept. Skeptical, but with little to lose, Knight accepts the challenge, sensing this might be his one chance to do something worthwhile, even if no one else ever finds out. Upon arrival as President Horvats's guest of honor, Knight confronts his ultimate acting challenge. What begins as an assignment to keep his eyes and ears open quickly turns into a life-or-death battle of wits, with consequences reaching all the way to Washington. Two more. Codebreaker by Jay Martell. This, I do believe, is a young adult. Maya Hayes has peaceful plans for the summer, find a part-time job at a coffee shop and work on her college applications. Those plans are shattered one night when government agents arrive unannounced at her home seeking something they believe her father has taken. When the dust settles, her mother is dead and her father is gone, a fugitive on the run. 3 weeks later, and still reeling from her father's betrayal, Mia spends her 17th birthday at a protest in the heart of DC, where she meets Logan, a rebellious and charming hacker. Just as she's enjoying her first happy moment since the night her world exploded, a voicemail from her father arrives to upend everything she believed about her family, her past, and what really happened that night 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. Even more, the voicemail hides another encoded message inside which, once Mia solves it, sets her and Logan off on a mission from her sleepy suburb straight into the heart of the federal government. With the same agents now hot on their trail, Mia and Logan must navigate their way through American history's most iconic sites and uncover its most well-hidden secrets to reveal the truth about her family and stop a deadly attack. Salt Bones by Jennifer Given. Malamar Veracruz has left the dust-choked town of El Valle. Here, Mal has done her best to build a good life. She's raised her 2 children, worked hard, and tried to forget the painful, unexplained disappearance of her sister Elena. When another local girl goes missing, Mal plunges into a fresh yet familiar nightmare. As a desperate Mal hunts for answers, her search becomes increasingly tangled with inscrutable visions of a horse-headed woman, a local legend who Mal feels compelled to follow. Mal's perspective is joined by the voices of her 2 daughters, all 3 of whom must work to uncover the truth about the missing girls in their community before it's too late. Woo! We made it! Look at that. Perfect. Perfect timing. Alrighty. Well, that is all we have for today. Our next morning show is on Friday, where we will look at the rest of the Cozy Mysteries from Monday. Hope you guys have a good day. Be safe. Stay hydrated. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day. God bless.